Hey, welcome back. I got a new microphone. I really like this setup actually. I haven't used this sign in ages. It's very convenient actually. I also like this microphone as it's kind of aesthetically pleasing in videos. I just like how it looks. Like, I used to watch old Captain Sparkle's videos just because his mic looked cool and how he talked into it. Kind of, if that makes any sense. Gosh dang it, I forgot to clap before recording this. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's gonna work. Because I'm recording the actual video on my iPad and the audio through my computer, I'm gonna have to download the audio and sync it up. So I'm not sure how the first part of this is gonna work exactly. But anyways, the premise of this video is based on my random thoughts. I write a bunch of random thoughts in my notes whenever I think them, and I thought might as well make a video about it. Now, essentially, this is really not most of them. Overall, a lot of the thoughts I have can't really be put into specific words that make sense. So this is a very bare minimum, as the other ones that make sense as well aren't really worth sharing necessarily, or I just forgot them because I feel like they come lost in translation after a while and I forget what I was originally trying to say. Anyways, let's get into it. So first one we have up is random pausing / abruptly stopping sentences to cause unnecessary confusion. This can also somewhat coincide with replying to questions that people ask you by saying 3, which I sometimes do to people I don't feel like answering. It is also just funny in general. Like, you'll be just speaking and then nothing. But it can't be just that. You have to leave your mouth on the same position, almost emphasizing what you're going to say, but just freezing. Like, a pretty good example of this would just be, I'm hilarious, right? What inspired me to write this down originally was from watching Call Me Carson videos. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Anyways, the next one is to steal jokes and tell them to the person who made the joke intentionally. What inspired me from this one was Amy Schumer telling Ellen DeGeneres her joke whilst on her show. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty amazing. I was watching the PewDiePie video on that. It's probably one of my favorite videos from him. But it's just another thing you might do for fun. I think that one stands for itself. You don't have to say much about that. Just completely don't mention it. Tell it straight up like you stole it from somewhere else, but don't mention it. And especially laugh at your own joke that they actually made. Anyways, the next one I have is to file a lawsuit against the floor when you fall down. Now, this logic that I thought of came from 2 things. Weird Al's I'll Sue Ya song, which is pretty epic, and the lawsuit that I saw Fortnite was getting from parents who were suing them because their child was addicted to it, which obviously is not Fortnite's fault. Do a better job parenting. I just thought that was pretty funny, and you should probably check out Weird Al's I'll Sue Ya. That's pretty epic. Anyways, wearing a Make America Great Again hat automatically disproves all of your points. Even if your rationale is completely sane and practical, even if your rationale is completely ethical and makes sense, just that red hat, it's just off-putting. Maybe it's because there's connotations with people who aren't ethical that wear the hat. Like, it doesn't really disprove your point. Like, obviously these aren't amazingly thought out. This one is just a random thought I had that I just wrote down. But let's just move on to the next one, alright? So, I think everyone has their own type of OCD. OCD doesn't exist, okay? Like, everyone gets very annoyed about specific things in a specific way. It's just not literal in terms of like fixing a painting that was slightly tilted. It just applies to a subject. I think that one stands for itself. I think that makes sense. But obviously OCD like exists, and I don't know how it actually is to have it. It's just a random thought I had. Alright, so now we're getting to the difference between a debate and an argument. Now, you may think they're the exact same thing, but I don't know. There's a negative connotation for me behind an argument. To me, it feels less civil. A debate is more civil, and the two people are accepting each other's responses, like, appropriately. And I think that's kind of why there's such thing as a productive debate, and the term productive argument isn't used. It's just an argument. Anyways, we have what makes a good public school teacher. Now, you have some strict teachers, you have some lenient teachers. I feel like you shouldn't be both. If you're going to be strict, be strict. I will respect that. But if you try to be both at the same time, it just won't work. I think that leads to like not very much control of your classroom. And I have some experience with teachers, okay? I've been in school for a while. I think that's kind of where I wanted to go with that one. There's of course probably a lot of other factors, but you can just completely ignore that. I'm just saying you should commit to being strict or lenient. I'm also not exactly sure how to pronounce that word, if it's lenient or lenient. I've always kind of been confused about that. Let me look that up. Lenient. lenient. Lenient is of punishment or a person in authority. Permissive, merciful, tolerant. Lenient. Is this even a word? Apparently it's not a word. I don't know why I thought that's how it was. Apparently it's lenient, and that makes sense. I don't know why I thought it was pronounced lenient. Anyways, moving on to the last one for today. We have the no shoes, no service loophole, and how to counter... Sorry, I'm just looking at what counteract means because I forget. I just kind of thought of something else as well. I will say words that I didn't even know that I knew in the correct context, and I have to look up what I previously said. I won't use a lot of words on a daily basis, but apparently I've heard them somewhere to the point where I know what the correct context to use them in is, and I don't even realize that I know that word, if that makes any sense. But anyways, back to the point. So what if you were in the position where you didn't have any shoes? Does this mean that you basically cannot buy anything from stores at all, seeing as you can't really have service without shoes? I don't really know the position that you wouldn't have shoes in, seeing as even if you were really unfortunate, usually 99% of the time you would still find a way to get shoes, some type of anyway. But let's just say in this case, if you walk into a store without shoes to buy some shoes, you won't be able to buy anything essentially. But there is a way to counteract this endless loophole. If you put on the shoes that you're about to buy, then you can walk out the door with the shoes. It's perfect. And like generally, I think that's the only one that wasn't really inspired by anything. It was just a random shower thought. Like generally random stuff like that is inspired from stuff that people have said on YouTube or something. But that just came straight from my head. And usually if they're giving me money, I'm not going to like give them their stuff just because they're not wearing shoes or something. They're still giving me service. Why am I not providing it? But I think that's about it. All I have here. I think this has been an interesting video, and I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. I've just been collecting random thoughts over the few months. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'm glad I was able to get this aesthetic of this microphone on video, as well as the actual sign again. And I'm glad it's pretty convenient to film a video like this. So hopefully maybe I'll do some more commentaries, possibly in the style of any other commentary channel. There's not really a style, is there? And I was thinking about making a song or a parody based on my random thoughts, because if you've seen I'm a Thoughtful Guy by Rhett and Link, you should see that. I assume the inspiration for that video is just from straight random thoughts that went into a video. So I think I might release a parody of that in the near future. But anyways, that's all I have for now. And yeah, thanks for watching the video.